motivation. I get asked all the time how I have the drive to get motivated, to stay motivated, especially throughout the entire school year. So I thought for back to school, it would be a really good idea to kind of share all of my tips and advice that I have on how I personally stay motivated. The first tip I have for you guys on getting motivated is to find what motivates you. This could be anything, and it is different for every person out there. Some really common things that motivate people are getting good grades, maybe having a higher test score, seeing really cool study posts on Tumblr and Instagram inspire people. It could be getting accepted into your dream school. Just think of a reason as to why you're studying so hard, why you want to do all of your homework, why you want to get good grades, or just have a reason. And once you have that reason, make sure you write it down immediately. It could be on a sticky note or in your notebook. Put that sticky note on your desk or on a folder or a binder, anywhere that's going to be visible for you, to have that constant reminder as to why you're doing what you're doing. You guys know that I constantly plan out everything that I want to achieve each day in my Hobonichi planner, and I really found that this is a really good way for me to get motivated to accomplish everything I want to finish for the day. I write out my to-do list. I have all of these empty check boxes, and when I don't finish something that I wrote down that I wanted to get done, I feel really guilty about not completing that task and migrating it to the next day. So that serves as a really great motivator just for me personally on getting everything done that I wanted to get done. So I think it's super important to really create a habit of following through with things that you want to get done. It's also important along that line to accept that sometimes your plans won't go exactly as planned, and sometimes things do change, but I still think that planning is a great way for me to stay motivated. There is this concept known as no zero days, and it is something that has motivated me so much over the past 2 years, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who needs to get motivated to do anything they need to get done. Basically, a 0 day is a day that you have zero productivity and you've done absolutely nothing to work towards your goals or your dreams or anything that you have going on. And so I found that you really don't have to do much to avoid a 0 day. Even if it's 11:30 at night and you're about to go to bed, if you've done nothing all day, it's still better to progress a little bit by just writing down 2 more sentences to that essay you've been putting off, or maybe it's just completing one more math problem to that calculus homework. And I always live by the motto that some progress is always better than none, and that really has held true for me, that if I just get 1 or 2 things done every day and I just feel like I've been more productive, I am motivated to get something done, and once you've started something, you are much more likely to finish it, because starting is always the hardest part. An obvious way to stay motivated is to set up a reward system for yourself, and it could be something as simple as, if I study for an hour, then I will allow myself to read a chapter or 2 out of the book I'm currently reading for fun. It could be just, I will check Instagram and Tumblr for 5 minutes, just setting up things that you would rather do as a reward for doing the things you don't want to do, like studying or doing your homework, is something that is a really good short-term motivator, especially if you just really don't want to read that chapter out of your chemistry textbook. If you promise yourself that, I'll get some ice cream after, you're more likely to complete it. Not everyone loves to do schoolwork or study, and I find that a good way to get motivated to do so is to make studying more fun. An easy way to do that is to have pens of a bunch of different colors. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but if you have notes that are, in tons of shades of orange and red and pink, that's going to be more interesting for you to read and review later than if it was all in pencil. And I also find that aids with my memorization process as well, because of the color association that I make with certain information. And in addition to that, you can make studying fun by doing all sorts of different note-taking methods. You can use mind maps, you can just use different colors in your outlines, you could do summary foldables or flashcards or any sort of thing that you think will make it just a little bit more interesting for you, and that's something that can help you stay motivated and fresh throughout the school year. Although motivation is super important in terms of productivity, I think that discipline is a character trait that is super significant and will definitely lead you to success throughout the entire school year. Motivation is just your willingness or reason to do something, while discipline is the ability to train yourself to do something in a very controlled, habitual way. Once you establish good habits, you will be successful for the entire school year. I know that when I was younger, I had a lot of bad habits with procrastination, and I figured out how to break that habit and how to avoid procrastination using discipline. I did a video on avoiding procrastination earlier this year, so I will link that up above if you are interested. But it's just so important to remember that along with motivation comes discipline. So I wish you guys all have a wonderful school year full of both of those. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my